What's going on, guys? So we're going to find out what it costs each NHL team to trade for Claude Giroux. I feel like there's not much to say about him. He's a star player. Throughout his career, he had over a point per game seasons. Lately, though, I'd say he's probably like a 60 to 70 point guy. Right here, you guys can see his trade value in game. Second highest trade value on the Flyers, actually, even more than Provorov. 33 years old, so getting out there a bit in age. 87 overall, making $8 million for one more year. So penny new UFA, probably a rental. Could literally, sign back to the Flyers after they trade him, get some pieces. But, still a very good player. As you guys can see there, tons of X factors, role first line forward. He's 87 overall on my roster. I think EA's roster as well. Very good playmaker. You can see there the 94 passing. He's got third eye. He's got tape to tape. Good in the face-off circle as well. Just a really good playmaker. But he can also score, and he's the captain of the Flyers, so he's a good leader. I feel like he should be the #1 player on the trade block this trade deadline, although I think I saw TSN had Ben Sherrod above him, which made no sense to me. In my mind, Claude Giroux is definitely like the best player available. So we're stopping here, guys, the Anaheim Ducks, see what it costs them to make this trade. And real quick, guys, if you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up on this video, it really helps me out. And now before I make the first offer at the Ducks, I should mention that the trade difficulty is set to easy, as Giroux's on the block. The Flyers clearly willing to trade him, opposed to, say, like a couple years ago, and they weren't looking to trade him at all. Hopefully, easy makes the trades a bit more realistic. Having said that, a first-round pick here has about the same value as Giroux. Now, the Ducks' first-rounder is probably going to be like a top 10 pick. We'll see what the Flyers say to this. Trades rejected, okay. So, what I've been hearing is the Flyers looking for like a first-round pick and 1 or 2 prospects, depending how good the prospects are. We'll add Lundstrom there. They like him. 21.79, medium top 6. I should mention, too, I feel like the Flyers could really use a bit of everything. In terms of forwards, they have Couturier, Farabee, Konechny, Tyson Forster, Bobby Brink, younger forwards to build around. Defensively, Provorov, Sanheim, York. They just added Ellis. I think a big reason why they're at the playoff spot, honestly, is because Ellis has been injured. Carter Hart, I think, is a pretty good young goalie, but with a young goalie, you're going to have growing pains, so maybe they wouldn't mind bringing in a veteran. I really think we can make a variety of offers here between all the different teams. So, first and Lundstrom for Giroux. What do the Flyers say? They say yes, okay. Now from Arizona, guys, we're going to try the Avalanche first-round pick and Connor Timmins. I'm thinking they probably say no, since the Avalanche first could be the 32nd pick. They're definitely not willing to give up their pick, though, or in this case, the Canadiens' pick. In real life, it'll be the Hurricanes' pick, but in-game, it's potentially the Shane Wright pick if it's Montreal. So we'll try this. We'll see what the Flyers say. I think we'll have to add more. Trade rejected. We could do Soderstrom and a first-round pick. I don't know if they'd really ever want to give up Soderstrom for Giroux, though. Maybe we'll try Timmins here. And they have 5 second-round picks. Which one is the best? I feel like... Ooh, wow. Could give Flyers their second-round pick back, I guess. And they would do that. Okay. So, first, second, and Timmins for Giroux. Not bad. And next year, guys, the Boston Bruins offering up a first-round pick and John Beecher for Claude Giroux. And I have them retaining 50% on Giroux to actually make this trade work for Boston. So I think that means we're probably going to have to give up a bit more, but we'll try this first. Trades rejected. Okay. Could add a second-round pick here. I was also thinking, if that doesn't work, we could make a trade with Fabian Lysell. I feel like, Bergeron, Marchand aren't getting any younger. Boston's probably willing to sell out the future to get Giroux here. They say no to the second as well. So, yeah, I think the 50% can make us have to go a bit more. So, we'll try a first-round pick, Fabian Lysell. That's a great return for Philly. They still say no. That's crazy. I thought for sure they would have said yes. I'll try being realistic. A second next year. Still saying no. Alright, guys, since the salary retention doesn't seem to be working, I'm going to try a different trade here. First round pick, John Beecher, Brandon Carlo for Claude Giroux. I feel like Boston's probably losing this one, but in the short term, I think Giroux would help them more with the playoff push than Carlo. We'll see what the Flyers say. Trades accepted. There we go. Now, next you guys trying to make a trade with the Buffalo Sabres, offering up Isaac Rosen, Florida's first round pick, our second the year after, and John Hayden. Hayden's there for the roster spot. I figured Sabres pick will be, top 5 pick. They have Florida and Vegas picks. Both will be late first rounders. Not a bad package for Claude Giroux. I feel like they should say yes. I'm thinking because the Florida first will be late, we'll have to add the second. And they do say yes. There we go. And next year, guys, we have an interesting trade offer from the Calgary Flames, offering up Sean Monahan, who's kind of fallen out of favor with that team, playing more in the bottom 6 to the top 6. Pretty big salary at $6 million. I think a change of scenery could definitely help him, and getting more minutes with Philly would definitely do that. Jacob Pelche there, good, solid prospect. Second round pick this year. Now, one thing I should note, they don't have their first round pick this year. They already traded for Toffoli. So, if we do have to add, we can't be adding that. We'll see what the Flyers say here. Have them retaining $1.5 million still. Trades rejected. Okay, so maybe a first next year. The Flames are just going all in on this Stanley Cup. They get Giroux, they get Toffoli. See what the Flyers say. Rejected. The 1.5 million is really that big of a deal. Alright guys, so I'm getting a little creative here. I've added Zadorov on our side, making 3.6. He's only an 80. I added Braun on their side, he's an 81, making 1.7. Maybe the trade goes through now. And it does. Okay, so I think Braun's an upgrade on Zadorov, although Zadorov's a bit more physical. Giroux's definitely a big upgrade on Monahan, then you're losing that first in Peltier to get Giroux. But honestly, I think that Flames roster would be so sick after adding Giroux. Look at Calgary's top 6 after that trade. Gaudreau, Lindholm, Tkachuk still the first line, with Toffoli, Giroux, Mangiapane as the second line. Mangiapane and Toffoli are both just pure snipers, playing with Giroux, who's a crazy playmaker. Like, that'd be nuts. Next year, trying to make a trade with the Carolina Hurricanes. No picks involved. Giving up Kokoniemi, big salary, younger player. I feel like Giroux obviously is a much better player. Will have more of an impact this playoff. Noel Gunler, so the Flyers also get a solid prospect with a young player in Kokoniemi. And they're also getting Jake Gardner here just for the contract spot. I know he's actually injured, so they'd probably immediately put him on LTIR, but in-game, of course, it's going to work. I saw Nate Thompson's actually on the block right now, so he might be an easier add just for the roster spot. We'll see what the Flyers say to this. Trades rejected. I thought it was a pretty good offer. Probably not too far off. The Hurricanes don't have their first round pick. Montreal has it. I mean, they have a ton of picks here, and they're a really good looking team right now. We'll have the second rounder. Still saying no. Okay, maybe they say we want Giroux. With him, we think we're winning the Stanley Cup. Next year's first. There you go. Got another interesting trade here, guys, from the Chicago Blackhawks, offering up Marc-Andre Fleury and Dylan Strome for Claude Giroux. Dylan Strome's still pretty young there at 24. He's a guy maybe could thrive more in Philadelphia. Marc-Andre Fleury, obviously, Chicago's not going to need if they're not making the playoffs. Flyers probably aren't either, but as I mentioned with Carter Hart, maybe he could really benefit from a veteran like Fleury kind of helping him, playing in a tandem with him. The value's pretty equal. We're probably going to have to add like a second at least. Trades rejected, yeah. So let's try adding a second here. Blackhawks obviously don't have a first because they gave it up for Seth Jones. Maybe we'll do a second next year. They think they're going to be better or something. And there we go. Okay, so Fleury, Strome, and a second for Giroux. Interesting. And next year, guys, the Colorado Avalanche trade offer. Now, I actually heard Claude Giroux's #1 destination at the deadline would be Colorado, so we'll see if they can make a deal to get done here. So we'll try this trade here, guys. Alex Newhook and Ryan Murray. Murray's just there for the salary cap. I feel like if they're giving up Newhook, they probably want to give up another forward too. Like they could give up, say, Jost or JT Comfort, but I think with their top 4 intact, McCarr, Taves, Gerard, Johnson, they're fine giving up Murray. See what the Flyers say to this one. Retaining 50%. Trades rejected. Wow, they're getting a lot there, I think. Alex Newhook's a very good prospect. We'll try adding a second rounder next year. Trades accepted. Okay, Newhook, Murray, and a second for Giroux. I mean, if the Avalanche are going all in to win it this year, it's not a terrible trade. And after that trade, guys, here's like what the Avalanche could look like. Obviously, not breaking up that first line. Second line here is Burakovsky, Kadri, Giroux. Third line, you know, still got Tyson Jost, Comfort, and Nichushkin. Fourth line's okay. Defensively, even without Ryan Murray, it looks good. They'd be a force. Next, you guys are the Columbus Blue Jackets trying to get Claude Giroux for Max Domi in 2 seconds. I doubt this goes through. If it does, probably the biggest fleece yet of the Flyers. Trades rejected. Okay, so I'm thinking they got a lot of good prospects and probably afford to give one up. I feel like Cole Sillinger's a new guy. He's playing really well his rookie year. Don't want to give up him. Maybe Liam Foudy, who's kind of been there for a while, hasn't really proved, you know, he's an elite player or anything like that. We'll take back Thompson again. Sometimes he's on the block for them, and sometimes he's not. See what the Flyers say now. Trades accepted. Okay, so Domi, Foudy, 2 seconds for Giroux. Pair him back up with Voracek. That could be kind of sick. And next year, guys, the Dallas Stars. I figured why not include John Klingberg as he's actually asked for a trade. I've also got Radek Faksa there just to make sure the salary works. Second round pick as well. Really, Dallas isn't losing a whole lot if Klingberg wants to leave. Claude Giroux gives them a ton of offense. I think Heiskanen's kind of taken over as the #1 D-man. Faksa's more or less just salary. I feel like with the emergence of some of the younger players like Jason Robertson, who I think's highest value player on the team. He's actually got more than Heiskanen, surprisingly. They'll be okay. So, Klingberg, Faksa, second for Giroux. Flyers say no. I thought that was a pretty fair offer. Actually, guys, it made me think. Instead of Faksa, we can include Khudobin for the salary. Also adding Stankoven here. See what the Flyers say. Now they say yes. Okay, so a pretty big package there from Dallas, but you know, they're kind of teetering right now between a playoff spot and not. If they think they're going to make it, Giroux would definitely help them out. All right, and next year, guys, we have my Detroit Red Wings offering up their first-round pick for Claude Giroux. It's got a ton of value. Now, real life, they're 9th place in the NHL standings, so they're the best team not in the playoffs. Thing is, the divide between the playoff teams and them is huge, so they're not making the playoffs, nor does it look like they're going to have a lottery pick, because with the new rules, I think the highest they could jump is like, you know, 4th or 5th pick. Maybe they give up their first-round pick for Claude Giroux. They'll have, like, lottery protection in there. They get back a veteran to help them out next year, potentially get back in the playoffs. I feel like the Flyers might take this 1-for-1. Trades rejected. Okay, so I thought that might happen too. I'm thinking we add Rasmussen. Could also use a change of scenery. Goes to the Flyers. They like their kind of big guys. Rasmussen, 6'6", former first-round pick, 9th overall, 2017. See what the Flyers say to this. Trades accepted. Okay, so yeah, Red Wings fans, let me know what you think of that. And next year, guys, with Edmonton Oilers offering a first-round pick, Duncan Keith, mainly for the salary, and Raphael Lavoie. I actually have to have them retain $100K on Giroux to make it work, which is kind of funny. Hopefully that doesn't screw it up. They're getting back a pretty good package here. They say no to it, though. Wow. Okay, so if Edmonton's going all in, you know, McDavid, Draisaitl, they want some playoffs. Holland, let's try adding a third first, and then we'll add a second if this doesn't work. They're really making us pay for Giroux here, I guess. They don't think the first is that great. Lavoie, okay. But they do say yes to this. So, Lavoie, first, a second, Keith for Giroux. I feel like Edmonton fans probably would be okay with that. And next year, guys, we have the Florida Panthers, who I think are definitely Stanley Cup favorites in the East, offering up Hornqvist just for the salary, Heponiemi, Saron Noel, decent prospects, and a second for Claude Giroux. I think we'll probably have to make that second a first, but you never know. Trades rejected. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is about the best team they've ever had. Florida hasn't had a lot of success, still have a ton of prospects. Give up another first-round pick here for Giroux. Still say no to that. That's kind of crazy. Are they willing to kind of go all in here? I think, you know, they have a pretty solid young team. Let's just go for it, try and bring a cup here to Florida. And they do say yes. So a first, second, Heponiemi, Noel, and Hornqvist for Giroux. I honestly don't think that's that bad, considering the position Florida's in. Like, they'd be so stacked with Giroux on the team. And next year, guys, with the LA Kings offering up Iafallo, Athanasiou, and 2 seconds for Giroux. They're kind of like on the playoff bubble right now, so I feel Giroux would definitely help them out more than 2 middle 6 forwards. A couple second-round picks as well, but Giroux's a star player. See what the Flyers say to this. Trade accepted. Okay. I honestly wasn't expecting that. Next year, guys, I have the Minnesota Wild offering up Jordan Greenway, Victor Rask, and a first-round pick for Giroux. Greenway still pretty young, 24 years old, decent like middle 6 winger. Victor Rask basically there for the salary cap. Plus they get a first-round pick. Definitely not a lottery pick. While they're pretty securely in a playoff spot. See what the Flyers say to this one. And they reject it. Okay, now, I actually should mention too, guys. Apparently Minnesota and St. Louis are Drew's like second choices behind Colorado, so maybe Minnesota's a little bit more willing to make this trade happen. Give a second-round pick next year as well with Rask and Greenway. And they do say yes. Okay, so to get in Giroux with an already solid Minnesota team, imagine him playing with like Kapsov on that first line. That could be nasty. And next year, guys, at the Montreal Canadiens, I've heard some trade rumors around Jeff Petrie, so maybe they trade Petrie in a second for Claude Giroux. I know Giroux's not born in Quebec, he's from Ontario, but I remember when I did my French-Canadian team, people told me Giroux's actually French-Canadian, so he might actually enjoy playing for Montreal if that was like his favorite team as a kid. We'll see what the Flyers say to this one. Trades rejected, okay. I feel like we're probably close. Throw in the Ducks third. Montreal's got 3 third-round picks. Maybe the third isn't going to do it. Try 2 seconds here. Definitely want to give up a first-round pick in case they're bad again. And there we go. Petrie 2 seconds for Giroux. I don't think that's terrible. And next year, guys, with the Nashville Predators trading Ryan Johansson and a first-round pick for Giroux. Giroux's definitely a better player than Johansson. And I feel like, you know, right now they're a playoff bubble team. If in a month they think they're definitely a playoff team. Not the worst trade ever, especially to consider the fact they're kind of getting out from under Johansson's contract, which is too much money. Johansson should be making, I think, you know, $6 million max, probably more like a $5 million player. So this is actually kind of a win-win. We'll see what the Flyers say. Trades accepted. Okay, yeah, Preds fans, let me know. And next year, guys, with the Devils offering up Thomas Tatar and a first-round pick. Definitely this first-round pick would have to be lottery protected for the Devils to do it. But if it was, like, say it's the 8th pick or something for Claude Giroux, the Devils have been pretty, you know, mediocre to bad the past 5-6 years. Giroux still has some game left, and maybe they think it kind of help them, some of the younger players, get them into the playoffs over the next couple seasons. See what the Flyers say here. Trades rejected. Tatar in a first. Wow. Maybe they move on from Michael McLeod, give him a change of scenery. Have to add Fitzgerald on Flyers side to make it go through. See what they say now. Trades accepted. Okay, so Tatar, McLeod in a first for Giroux again. If it's like, you know, 9, 10, I don't think that's terrible. And next year, guys, the New York Islanders offering up Brock Nelson, Bode Wild, and a second-round pick. I feel like Nelson could, you know, fit into the Flyers' top 6. He's actually under contract for a bit now. Bode Wild, decent defensive prospect. The Avalanche second rounder there, honestly, is probably more like a third rounder if the Avalanche do go on to win the Stanley Cup or come close. See what the Flyers say to this one. Trades rejected. I feel like the Islanders probably have to give up a first-round pick with these guys, but I mean, you're upgrading Nelson to Giroux, and they're paying Bode Wild in a first-round pick to do that, which is definitely a little bit steep, but If it's the price you have to pay, I mean, they're not really in a playoff spot right now, so Giroux would definitely help them. And next, you guys are the New York Rangers offering up Brendan Othmann and a first-round pick for Giroux. They're in a playoff spot right now. Big reason for that is just how good Shesterkin's played. Add Giroux to that offense, they'd be even better. I think they need defense more than offense, but we're trading for Giroux today. We'll see what the Flyers say to this offer. Trades rejected. I mean, Othmann and a first, I think, is very fair. They do have a couple seconds. Maybe they do a first, second, and Othmann. They really want to go for it. Now the Flyers say yes. And next, you guys are the Senators offering up Brandstrom and a first for Giroux. Similar to some of the other teams, definitely this would be like a lottery-protected first. Now, see what the Flyers say here. Trades accepted. Okay, Brandstrom and a first for Claude Giroux. That'd be kind of nice for Ottawa, again, as long as it's not, you know, top 5 pick or something. I've been saying for a while, guys, Ottawa needs a first-line center. Look at how much better their top 6 looks with Giroux in the mix. You got Tkachuk, Giroux, Batherson, first line. Get a +5. Brown, Norris, Stützle on the second line. Like, that's actually a legit top 6 in the NHL now. And next, you guys are trying to see what the Pittsburgh Penguins would have to give up for Claude Giroux. I don't think the Flyers would ever trade him to Pittsburgh, nor do I think Giroux would want to go there, as he actually does have a no-move clause. I don't think I mentioned that. But obviously, for this video, we're pretending he's waiving for every single team, because otherwise, it'd be a pretty short video with just those 3 teams, Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis. So, Pittsburgh here offering up Zucker, Blomqvist, Nylander in a second. I feel like they'll say no, but you never know. Trades rejected. I think Zucker's honestly almost like a cap dump. $5.5 million there, only an 82. So, first round pick, get out from Zucker's contract. Blomqvist a decent prospect goalie. Nylander they got for really nothing. See what the Flyers say? Trades accepted. I feel like that's not too bad of a trade for Pittsburgh. And I mean, after that trade, I don't know. I feel like Giroux and Crosby, even though they hate each other for a little bit, they could actually have some nice chemistry. Gensel, Malkin, Rust, Kapanen, all in that top 6. Like, that'd be a tough team to play against. And next, you guys are the San Jose Sharks offering up Thomas Hertl for Claude Giroux. There were some trade rumors around Hertl. I'm not sure if he still wants to leave. Sharks right now looking like probably not going to make the playoffs. Younger than Giroux, obviously. 27 years old there, 86. Giroux's 33, so 6 years older. Slightly better overall. More playoff experience, I'd say. Better player. But, you know, they get the younger player in Hertl. Both pending UFAs. Maybe it's a clean 1-for-1. I don't think we've had that yet. Trades rejected. Okay, so that's not going to work. I feel like the Sharks wouldn't have to add a lot here, though. Could add a pick. Mark-Edward Vlasic. Could try and trade him. That'd be so tough because it's a clear cap dump. Would a third-round pick get it to go through? No. Wow. So they really do value Giroux. Quite a bit more there than Hertl. Maybe Hertl in a second for Giroux. Still saying no. Are you kidding me? So I've added Aiden Hill to the trade who they want, along with Chmelevski. Just a decent prospect. These two guys simply there for roster spots. Will they say yes now? They do. Okay, so I'm surprised Sharks had added that much to Hertl. I really do think like a 1-for-1 there would be more than fair. And next, you guys are trying to make a trade as the Kraken. I feel like they probably have the least amount of assets to work with. Like, they got Matty Beniers as one good prospect. That's about it. So I'm thinking definitely have to use a first-round pick. What I probably should have been doing, too, is trading the 2023 first for all the bad teams, because they keep the 2022 first, and then the 2023 first, obviously, lottery protected, which probably means more like top 5 protected than just top 2 protected. So if they do this, they're not missing out on Shane Wright or Connor Bedard or any of those guys. So probably the safest route. Now, with that pick, I don't really know what would the Flyers want most. Probably like an Adam Larson. I doubt this gets it done, but who knows? They said yes, okay. Philly needed some defense. They got Larson for free. I don't think that's that bad of a trade. And next, you guys have the St. Louis Blues offer Barbashev a first and Scandella for Giroux. Scandella kind of is there for salary cap. Barbashev wasn't enough. Barbashev actually having a pretty solid season, 25-81. Maybe could help out the Flyers, and they get a first-round pick. St. Louis Blues, of course, looking for another Stanley Cup. We'll see what the Flyers say here. I have them retaining $750K on Giroux. Hopefully that doesn't, you know, change the deal for us. Trades rejected. Wow. Not comfortable keeping that amount of salary. Are you kidding me? I'm wondering if the third-round pick will make them keep that $750K for Giroux. And there we go. Okay, so Scandella, Barbashev, a first and a third. Now the Flyers looking pretty nasty. As I mentioned, they're actually one of the 3 teams Giroux would waive his NMC for real life. But a lot of times players say that, and then, you know, if the GM comes and says, hey, Edmonton has an offer, you want to play with McDavid, he might change his mind. And after that trade, guys, here's a look at the St. Louis Blues forward group. I'm sure it might be not quite this, but that top 9 is deadly. Buchnevich, O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Kyrou, Thomas, Giroux, Saj, Shen, Perron. Now, defensively, they're a little bit weaker, especially after losing Scandella, but Prunovich should be upgraded from a 77. I need to do that. Falk, Parayko, Krug, rounding out the top 4. I see it's like a -1 if I do that. Goaltending-wise, luckily, even though Binnington's not been playing great, Husso's been playing really good, so ride the hot hand in the playoffs. St. Louis could definitely go deep. And next year, guys, the Tampa Bay Lightning offering up Alex Killorn and a first-round pick for Claude Giroux. Killorn's a pretty solid player. Giroux's definitely better. I feel like Tampa Bay's thrown out first-round picks for worse in the past. Like, they have a first-round pick for Barclay Giroux, who's a bottom 6 center. I do have the Flyers retaining $2.4 million, so I'm thinking they'll probably say no. Yeah, trade is rejected. Could try adding a second-round pick. Could try adding a goalie or a skater they like. Definitely a skater here, looking at the value. We'll try Tkachuk here. Or is it Kachuk? I always forget that one. A lot of Nate Thompson on their side. Do they say yes now? Still rejected. That's kind of crazy. So it's because of the money. We're really going to have to overpay. So Tampa wants the back-to-back-to-back, the three-peat. Can a first, a second, Killorn and Kachuk get it done? It does not. Alright guys, I'm trying something totally new here. Offering up McDonough and a second-round pick for Giroux. Maybe Tampa Bay decides they need more offense than defense. I feel like they're pretty fine as they are. See what the Flyers say to this. Trade's rejected. Alright, I'm just getting tired here at Tampa Bay. McDonough and a first for Giroux. That gets it done, but I don't like that trade for Tampa. Next year, guys, the Maple Leafs offering up Alex Kerfoot, Justin Holl, and a first-round pick for Claude Giroux. I feel like Giroux, obviously, a big upgrade on Kerfoot. Holl, I think, hasn't been as good this season. They brought in Lyubushkin. Liljegren stepped up. They'll be fine defensively. First-round pick there. Again, they gave up one for Nick Foligno. Claude Giroux's actually worth it. Now, Flyers are trading 1.5, so they might say no here. Trade's rejected. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Although, I don't know, maybe they do want a decent prospect. Robertson, Amirov, Dargachentsev. Maybe we add Dargachentsev here to the trade. Pick back Clendening, who's on the block. I feel like he hasn't been on the block before. The Flyers still reject that. Jeez. And look at the Leafs here, guys. We really have no option if they're not willing to retain, because we're not trading Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander for Giroux. I mean, I guess you could trade, say, Brody or Muzzin, but I don't think it would make a ton of sense. Goaltending-wise, I guess Mrazek, actually. $3.8 million. I didn't even kind of think of him. We could add him to the trade. It was saying Philly would be over the league maximum salary cap for next year, so I took off Holl. It still works. Kerfoot, Mrazek, Dargachentsev, and a first for Giroux and extras. What do they say? Trade's rejected. That's with no retention as well. Jeez, they are really striking a tough bargain. Add a second here as well. And now it goes through, but at least I had to give up quite a bit. And next year, guys, the Vancouver Canucks offering up Tanner Pearson, Travis Hamonic, a first and Jet Wu for Giroux. I feel like Pearson Hamonic, you're almost dumping salary here. For a lot better salary, if that makes sense, in Claude Giroux, so that's good. First round pick, probably lottery protected, right? With Jet Wu. See what the Flyers say. Wow, they say yes. Kind of crazy how easy it was for us to make that trade, but with the Leafs and the Lightning, it was so hard. Next year, guys, the Vegas Golden Knights trying to add Claude Giroux. How this is going to work salary cap-wise, I don't know, but somehow retaining only $1.1 million, sending over Dadonov in a first. See what the Flyers say. Trade's rejected. I kind of figured that. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights are already pretty stacked. They bring in Giroux, they're even more stacked. Try a second there with the first and Dadonov. Still rejected. Okay, maybe there's a prospect they like. I think Zach Dean's unsigned. Could add him. This seems like a huge overpay, but maybe Vegas is saying screw it, they want that cup now. Flyers reject all of that because of the $1.1 million salary. Are you kidding me? Instead of trading Dadonov and trading Martinez, as it only has to retain $950K at that point, and they'll say yes. Tons of moves here to make it happen, but Giroux in Vegas would be pretty sick. And now next year, guys, we're making an offer with Washington Capitals. Justin Schultz, Carl Hagelin for the salary. First round pick, Alexiev. See what the Flyers say. Trade's rejected. I kind of figured, because really not giving them much there aside from a first round pick. We could add in a second here. See what they say to this. It's going to go through. Okay, call up Michael Kempney. Yeah, I think the Washington still have decent defense, and obviously Hagelin going to Giroux is a huge upgrade on offense. In the last trade of the video, guys, Winnipeg offering up Andrew Kopp, a first-round pick, Nathan Beaulieu for Claude Giroux. They're retaining $600K. It seems like anything under $1 million is fine, though. Andrew Kopp, of course, having a pretty solid year. Going to need a pay raise. He's also got 1 year left on his contract, so maybe they want to get ahead of that and get Giroux instead. See what the Flyers say to this one. Trade's rejected. Okay, so definitely a lot of different ways we could do this trade with Winnipeg. They actually have some decent defensemen. I'm thinking we'll just give up one of those. Let's try Brendan Dillon here, and then we no longer have to retain on Claude Giroux's salary. We also take off Nathan Beaulieu. Will they say yes to this? Trade still rejected. Let's try a second there along with Kopp, Dillon, and a first. And now it's going through. Honestly, if they were contending this year, That's not a bad trade to get Claude Giroux. And that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Flyers fans, let me know which trade you like best for your team. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.